Okay, so we're coming to you live from NADA 2026 in Vegas. We're at the Win. I'm here with Aman Abraham, and I'm here with Samer Rama. Aman, what do you do for your group?
So I'm the general manager of Frontier Toyota.
General Manager, Frontier Toyota.
Vice President of Frontier Toyota.
Vice President, Frontier Toyota. So I want to talk about technology. I know that we all go way back. Let's talk about everybody is chasing everything here at NADA 2026. They're chasing AI, it's a hot button. They're chasing all this different technology. I'm under the belief that technology isn't going to just fix everybody's problems. You guys have been retailers for a long time. What have you seen that works? And more importantly, what doesn't work with coming here, getting some shiny widgets? What does it take to make it come to life back at the store?
You know what we've realized is this: knowing what technology you need will be determined by what the goal and the objective is. Right? For the most part, the majority of the dealerships, regardless of the brand or OEM, we're dealing with the same challenges. The biggest challenge in overall, before we even get to AI, is there's a huge disconnect between the producers of technology and understanding who the user is.
And
What
when you say the user, who are you talking about?
The user is us, the average car person, car man, woman, what I refer to as the billies,
Right?
right? And how we need to digest data, how we look at data, and whether we even go back to that technology again because we may find it intimidating. So the third party and external producers don't understand because they've never been in our seat what we want to see, how we want to see it.
And what do you want to see and how do you want to see it?
So just to oversimplify it, right? We want to get the smallest number, the shortest number of clicks between request to the answer, right? Don't take me off the page if I don't need to go off the page. If I go to reports, I don't necessarily want to see 18 reports, right? Based on who the user profile is, we should pre-select 2, 3 impactful reports, and that's all there is. And I'm more likely to go back into that space.
So
Some examples.
this is too irresistible. So what about all the dealers that say, yeah, but because I hear you, but then
Yeah.
I work for a third party vendor, cars.com, Cars Commerce,
Yes.
and they come back and my team comes back and they go, Amon, that's great, but I just talked to another dealer and they said that they need this report and this extra report and this other report. So
Yes.
how should I as a provider
Balance it.
digest that?
Now, that will happen. Now, all I'm saying is this. It's not that we can't provide a customized version of this, but the previous version of third-party providers, where they produce one product that's not flexible for the masses, that's where the challenge is. So you can be a successful third-party provider, understanding the needs of your audience, and maybe I like the version where there's 3 reports, but you may want to have 5 reports that are important to
I'm
you.
with you, by the way. I only think there should be more three because if not, it's too
I know that
complicated.
some groups have a need, right? Maybe they want to composite, compare other pieces. But as third-party providers, or just forget about third-party, as a technology provider in 2026, you need to be flexible and nimble enough to be able to address the needs of the 3-report team and the one that wants a 5, 6-report team. Build it in the infrastructure, the software. What you make active and visible, you can control.
So how do you make it actionable?
I think one major disconnect right now we have is between the technology and the people, which is
Oh, yeah.
something we have to fix ASAP. Uh, Dealership need guidance, education, especially right now the world of AI. Everybody's talking AI, AI, AI. Most people don't even understand what does it mean. Is it just Chat GPT? You have to answer to put a prompt and get an answer. Something I learned back in the days is garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't ask the right question, you're not going to get the right answer. Now, the second part of it, as a dealer, what should I look at? What metrics that matters the most to us, to the consumer, to the search engine, to the AI?
What should that look like?
It should be visible to all of it. Answer optimization, answer engine optimization. You have to have geo, you have to have SEO, you have to have all those pieces together. But we have to have at least an understanding as a dealer what to look for.
Okay, so let's pump the brakes for a second for the audience. So SEO, everybody knows the search engine optimization. AEO, that Sam's talking about, is answer engine optimization. Google AI overviews, anything that powers all of this stuff. And then GEO is generative engine optimization, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, that sort of thing, just for context. So how do dealers know they're not getting smoked here at NADA? Because this is the real deal. How do they know who's the snake oil, who's for real?
I think you just
From your perspective.
I think you just described something very important right now. You mentioned a couple words that maybe 90% of dealers don't understand today. It doesn't
I
mean they're
agree.
going to understand it. You just don't understand it today. So if they don't understand that, any vendors that's going to walk in and say a couple fancy words, oh yeah, I want that product. It doesn't mean you need it. It doesn't mean that's exactly the product you want.
And this it'll make all your pain go away. It's a pain reliever, even though it might cause some more pain.
I will tell you this though, and this is the small disclaimer, right? The $2.99 lease special. Okay, this is the small disclaimer that's going to be on the screen for 3 seconds. To try to create a technology that will fix a dealership's issue, where the dealership chooses not to be engaged,
Willingly.
involved willingly, is not going to exist. Okay, so the sad reality is this: any technology available to you is only as good as your ability to deploy it because you're fully engaged. There is no
And your team is fully engaged.
there to us, right? There's no way you're going to be successful in any meaningful way, no matter how shiny the object is you just purchased, if you and your team don't have an action plan that aligns with the technology and the use case, and you all are all willing to commit to being involved.
Well, hold on. What's that look like? Just for somebody who doesn't know what that means, the action plan to connect it. What, like, give me an example.
Number one, don't get distracted with all the shiny objects, right?
There's a lot here.
Before you even show up, you should probably have a solid idea of the top 5 unique challenges to you. Now, some may be to you and everybody else, but to you specifically. So that way, when you're coming in here, listening to the different ideas that are going on, you're not listening to something that doesn't necessarily address an immediate issue. It allows you to be disciplined in what you're looking at, number one. Number two, the team has to be in, top to bottom. Everybody understands, and we all agree this is the issue.
And if not, you got to kind of pump the brakes, right?
Stop, right? Why would we add one more widget? Right? We just did an exercise at our store. We do it every year. We list out all the technology and or plugins we are currently using that are on
So important.
auto bill or whatever it is. And we sit as a team with the price point next to it and say, hey, by the way, service department, you thought this was necessary a year ago. Is it still necessary? Because if it is, that's great. Do we need to get a better version, a unique version? There's a lot of autopilot happening where we don't need it. So number one, have an agenda. What are you trying to address as you're looking for technology to help you leverage? Remember, it doesn't take away your requirement to have an action plan that's deliverable, that's specific, that's who's going to do it, when are they going to do it. The technology is just a component of that.
No, it's kind of an obligation you have to the enterprise when you're signing up for something, right?
And take on this incremental cost. The responsibilities is we're going to make sure we utilize it fully. But you've got to understand it. And this is where the biggest challenge in our industry exists today at this NADA.
Agreed.
Which is us dealers, the Billies, we are so behind that, honestly speaking, we don't quite understand everything that's available. Whether it's AI pieces of it, we don't. And it's hard because we're having to make decisions about technology that is utilizing.
And it's not being fully explained. So
Maybe it is, but maybe we're not able to understand it at its fullest, right? And that's where the role of the third-party provider is. They really would have to explain to us
responsibly
to say, hey, this is what this is going to be able to address, and this is what it will not address, right?
Right, and the second part is probably more important because if they just shoot you straight, you're okay with it, right?
Wait, absolutely. I know we would prefer that, right? Then we
Right.
know what the rules are. Are we ready for this, right? Can we commit to doing our part?
Yeah, this is heavy.
So, I mean, that's
This is good for vendors and for dealers to hear this.
Listen, clearly we're not against vendors, right? We use
No. But I'm saying,
we
like,
use a ton of software. We use a ton of technology. Some is better than others. We learn where we are not.
but a lot of vendors are scared to give dealers the bad news because they're like, oh, what if they don't sign up?
I think the one thing to remember as a vendor is this: if you sell your technology and or whatever widget it is to a dealership without fully disclosing their role and responsibility and ensuring its success,
Amen.
all that's going to do to the dealership is say, you know what, we did this thing, it didn't work. And that's not fair to you, right? It's not a technology failure, right? It's an implementation failure.
So on that note, because you're hitting on a real hot button for me here, and I know, and you know this probably as well as anybody in the United States or anywhere. And so on what Aman just said, attribution, and you know it as deep as possible. Can you kind of educate the industry, dealer and vendor side? Because I think a lot of vendors don't realize it, and even a lot of dealer principals don't realize you get a lead from cars.com or you get a lead from one of our competitors. That lead starts out Walk me through the attribution model of what happens on the CRM and how accurate that is.
It's garbage in, garbage out again. So CRM, that one of the major challenges that we have, and it's not fixed yet, is not giving attribution to different vendors, different lead providers, as an example, different touch point that the consumer is going through. Consumer is not going to cars.com and just come in and making a purchase. Consumer might be going to Google, then cars.com, start the vehicle, go search some other providers, and then come to the dealership, then leave and do another search, and then make a purchase. Part of that process, that one touch point, that should be credited to one of those vendors. Or maybe all those vendors should be partially credited,
Right.
should be
Or
percentage credited.
we need to rethink it as an industry, right?
Correct. And that's part.
And Sam's talking about multi-source attributions,
Yeah,
multi-touch attribution.
and one of the challenges that's us as a dealership that's a little bit in the tech savvy side of it, we want also visibility from the vendor side of it to give us some data. It's gonna make me make a right decision. Is this the right vendor to stay with? What drive that traffic to my website? You know, is it the red Toyota Camry or is it just Toyota Camry?
And by getting that data, you might even say, I'm going to spend more money with it.
Absolutely. I want to optimize I want to optimize my campaigns. I want to optimize my inventory because you guys have, as cars.com, for example, you guys have a lot of traffic and millions of
28
visitors.
million unique visitors a month.
So compared to a single point, dealer point, we have nothing. We have nothing compared to you guys. But if we have enough data just for my dealership, I'm not talking about what cars.com gets, just for my dealership, what triggered that customer, that consumer to come to my store, I can optimize my inventory. I can optimize how we're going to communicate to that customers. I can optimize different
You can wrap in service.
rep and service, keep following up, lifetime customer value, not just what happened today. It might be consumer that's already purchased from me before, but what
Is somebody else in their household in the market for something else?
Absolutely. So I think vendors and third-party lead providers in general, I think they should be a little bit more transparent, in my opinion. They should share the data because the data is going to help them even more, in my opinion, than it's going to help us as a dealership. Because not every dealership can and will use that data.
And make it actionable.
Absolutely.
I know Aman's chomping at the bit here.
I know, you know what it is. Listen, we
He's about to come out of his
we
suit.
try to. This is a lot, right? This is a lot of ask
Yeah,
for dealership, right?
a lot.
We tend to be passionate about.
But you guys do hundreds of $1 millions in revenue.
We do, and therefore we are willing to go into that world. But the reality is this: again, as a technology provider, speaking on that side of what they do, right? Can you imagine? We're just trying to explain to DPs, GMs, and decision makers, high level, what is required in order for you to show up in an AI search. Just simplify, just straight up 101.
Yeah, what are the top 10
ma-
things?
Not the master's program we just described, right?
Right.
But as a vendor,
That's a great point.
you need to be really flexible in that, hey, by the way, if you're one of those passionate few and you need an API to certain data, because that will help you get more
You're a
out
power
of this.
user.
Absolutely. And I think that's where they could do some things because, listen, make it available to
Good
those who want it and who can leverage it. They'll make you better. They're more committed to the whole process. Those that don't, though,
And if something like that was available, would you be open to using more products in the platform?
no, absolutely, because we're all looking to leverage data. And the one thing we know is in auto, we're data rich, but we are simply behind in
But
every
whoever has the
respect
most data
and how we
wins.
leverage it. I know, absolutely. But we have enough to be action. Like, there's enough to take action just in our own DMS, right?
Right.
Besides layering in all the.
But we're talking about reducing leakage, eliminating spillage.
One other piece that is very important now that everybody's talking about AI. There are some other tools that because you're using them, it might help you rank higher. It's called reputation management at this stage. Because AI is going to be responding how your dealership is doing. It's doing
So
well,
we've
it's
got
negative.
Dealer Rater. So let's drill into this. So
Discuss that.
So when you say that, what do you like the Reddit of the world? Can you kind
Reddit
of tell
of the
everybody what
world.
you mean?
So people is going to go to those pages. They're going to ask questions. What should I buy? 2026 Toyota RAV4, or whatever the question is.
It's not no
Reddit is going to pop up.
Dealer Rater.
Data Rater is going to pop up, but it's not just Data Rater. It's going to pop up Joe Smith. That gentleman that he was one of the best RAV4 salesperson in the San Fernando Valley.
And are you seeing this already?
You know, it's happening. It's not we've seen it, it's happening. And some consumers actually, they come in, they're like, hey, listen, I want to work with this gentleman.
I've seen this too, yeah.
Absolutely. It's not just I want to buy a RAV4 anymore. Listen, you can't buy cars. The cars, they're made the same way. For my store to the other store, that's not the point. They're looking for that connection, that one-on-one connection, that value that salesman's going to bring to the table, which is changing. So now, layering other tools on top of tools that is already working, or how you try to optimize, is crucial at this stage. What the consumer is looking at ain't the same like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Yelp for me is more important. Google reviews is more important. Data rated is more important than it used to be.
And what it totally is, but how like more specifically, because I don't think everybody is tuned into this, what's making it more important right now?
Because this search, the AI, the LLM in general, the large language model, or let's call it SLM, the small language model, however you want to call it, is capturing the data from what exists in the internet. So that this scraping the data from all
You can't hide from it anymore.
hide it anymore. So if you have a good, bad, and ugly, it's gonna pop. Because part of it, if I'm asking the question, what's the best dealership? Give me the cons and pros. Simple question to the AI. It's gonna tell me Frontier Toyota is great because A, B, C, bad because A and B. So now, whoa, if I'm a consumer, I'm gonna look at it like, I like him because he do A, B, C, great, but this.
But just like Aman said, he wants the good and the bad as the dealer from the vendors. I think the consumers want that too, and they're okay.
They are.
Go back to transparency that we discussed before.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the data or even transparency. Like we were Toyota, we do smart pads and we try to be transparent dealership. I want to show the pricing up front. I want to show if he's any whatever I'm selling up front. I want the consumers to know if they're buying extended service contracts or not up front. I don't want sign and go and wake up after 2 weeks and like, hey, hold on, what happened? What is this?
Well, in California, you had a little stricter rules too than maybe in Florida where I'm at. But with SmartPath, right? But you're finding that because there's a lot of dealers that want to add fees or plus this, must have a trade, must finance. But you're finding with SmartPath being up front is better.
I think so. A consumer deserve. I'm a buyer as well. I'm a consumer. I want to buy stuff, and when I buy stuff, I know that's what I'm paying for, and I'm okay paying for something that I want, or somebody selling me the value. The challenge is not
And not wasting time.
Not waste my time. I'll buy it if the value is there. So that piece, that's a culture change, nothing to do with technology at this stage.
But
Well, that's how you connect it, right?
that's how Toyota's leveraged it, right? As an OEM to spend as much as they have to come up with a process. You can start at home, continue when you get to the store, or just start at the store. Fully transparent. Sales associates not leaving, talking to the manager, and they don't know what's happening. It's all
Same
right
process.
there. But our biggest challenge is not that there's not a way to improve what happens in the store, but our discussion is mainly about what he mentioned. They will do a search, an AI search, and it will take the fact as they are out there, and we're not involved to tell them, oh, by the way, that's not really the case. And so the decision, listen, over 30 hours of research, and depending on who you ask, 1.2 to 1.5 visits when they purchase.
I would argue it's even less now with AI search
100%.
because everybody was like, well, I'll handle that when they get to the store. But
Not anymore.
that's never even, it's happening way before that, right?
These are the people you don't see. And this is where now we really have to be proactive, right? And say, what does this look like for me? How can I improve this? Because it's part of the calculus. And whether you like it or not, that's going to be the answer, and we need to address it.
So here's the last thing. I look at it like new car allocation. You can complain about it. You can say it's unfair. Your competitor can say, oh, well, Frontier Toyota's getting preferential treatment from Toyota. It's not fair. They have a different location. They got a new facility. They're near Woodland Hills. How easy is that? Everything's so easy. It's Toyota, all those things. But somebody's saying it's not fair. You're looking at it like a math equation. Would you look at AI search the same way? Like well, I'm saying from an allocation standpoint, the methodology is the methodology.
Right.
You earn what you earn, but with AI search, you kind of just earn with trust. You earn with reviews, right?
Yes. I'll give you a quick example. This happened last week. We had a customer. She was at the showroom floor of competitor brand. As she was buying the whole process, she almost finished the process. She go to ChatGPT, ask Like while she was there, about to sign, she asked, "Can you compare whatever that she was buying, CRV with the RAV4?" And ChatGPT said the RAV4 is the #1 selling car in the United States, 2025. The best car, there's A, B, C reason why. She got up, crossed the street, walked in, and she ended up saying, "I only want to buy RAV4." We always asked her to ask what is the story, how it brought you in, and she told us the story. This
Now,
is happening now. This is not the
the
future.
takeaway though
It's
from
happening.
this is this. That may have been maybe, in all fairness, right? It wasn't really us as so much as it is Toyota, the brand, right? And the reputation it's built. But part of that analysis, if she wasn't at a dealership across the street, was the next question is, what's
What
the best
dealership?
dealership? Correct.
And then what's the best salesperson at the dealership?
And that's where now we really have to think differently about what's out there, right? And what do we do? One is prevention. Number two is, hey, what processes? This is not brand new for us.
No.
We've been taught this for how long? What's
But
the
now it's
process?
being enforced by Google,
What's
ChatGPT.
the last touch point at the dealership that we know at delivery? Hey, everything went well. Really appreciate everything was great. At least we know when she drove off or he drove off, all was well. A nice follow up, right? To see, because you just don't know when the issues come up. And a lot of consumers don't bring it up to you, but they will definitely express themselves. And it's
On social media.
yeah, and that's not going away. This piece is not going to go away, fair or unfair. So you just have to take the necessary steps.
Yeah, and figure out the rules so you can play the game, for lack of a better word. It's algorithmic trust.
It is.
It also builds retention, which is everybody's focus, as it should be, right? At the end of the day.
In my opinion, is driven by consumer in our business.
Oh, yeah.
Algorithm is driven by consumer and what consumer they're saying. It's not about, we can create citations, we can create questions, answer, we can guide the consumer to whatever. But at the end,
But you used to be able to sit there and just create a bunch of random SEO pages and just, I'm just going to build more pages, more content. I'm going to outrank everybody. But you can't just do that anymore.
They've changed it,
Right.
They've learned and evolved, but we're not catching on as quickly. One, because we've got a full-time job trying to sell cars and manage that piece, but we don't have a choice. So right now, this is a choice in ADA. This is like, hey, are we taking forward step, or are we just going to be either in denial, or are we going to defer it, right? And there's a
Right.
cost to everything, right? If you take a step forward, let's spend the money. That's the easy part, to get a technology that'll help us figure this out. Is it the right technology? Is it the right technology for your people? And you have to be honest with your abilities.
Right. Can you operate if it's
Can we integrate to our process and have meaningful result and leverage this piece? Or is it going to be item number 18 on auto pay that goes on for 2 years? Nobody's discussing it because we're not so great at cutting off.
and then you ask in January, do I still need it? And it wasn't utilized properly. So as we close this out,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask each of you a question. What's the number one thing that dealers should be thinking about going into 2026 here at NADA?
I think they should look into education in the AI space and start understanding what does it mean. You know, forget acronyms. I'm talking about what does it mean to you as an operator. How you going to operate the store, how you can utilize AI to your benefit. You know, don't get scared, don't panic, don't walk away, don't say, oh, it's not a time right now. This is a Netflix blockbuster move again all over.
Yeah, it could be a superpower.
It's a superpower. It's can you use not against you, use in your favor if you know how to maximize it. And I think to every single dealership at NADA, even outside NADA, I would say get educated, understand it, and embrace it. You know, don't walk away. This you have to embrace it. It's happening. It's here to stay. This is not something we're going to be discussing. Two years from now, we're gonna forget AI. We're gonna talk about something else. No. It's staying, and then we're gonna be talking about something else. But for now, we have to get educated, and we have to forget the past. The past is the past. What's happening going forward, and the dealership that are gonna be
Or just to get caught up to what's happening now.
absolutely just got up.
And,
Aman, what
and
are
what
you
I will
thinking
say to that is, before you get to that phase he just described, is just remember, you're not going to be able to just hire a website provider and say, oh, for an extra X, you can go ahead and take care of this for me. Those days are gone. You have
It's
to get
stitching your DNA, right?
correct, number one. But more importantly, what he's referring to get to where he's saying you should be at, the learning phase, is this is the time before you even go out anywhere, is to get the key management leaders in your service part, everybody, and have a real honest dialogue about where you are, where you're willing to go,
What you're able to execute.
who's able to go get it done on the team, but frank discussion, right? Let's not kid ourselves. Say, no, we're going to do this. Who's going to handle? I mean, literally lay it out. The technology piece is the last thing. The question
I
is,
agree.
are we ready? Are we ready as a store? Is the culture there?
And
Is
from
the
top to
willingness
bottom,
there?
is everybody ready?
Absolutely. If that's not now, once you've done all that, the next step is the education part, right? So then you can figure out what may be the right fit for you. The technology is the last, but a lot of times we get excited, right? Because
Shiny object.
we're in the ether, and we love this thing. We want it because the other guy's got it down the street. But we plug it in, it's just another expense. And listen, the only other thing I would say that's even, I think, more relevant for us is this. Before COVID, there was a top 10, 15%, you and I've discussed this in the past,
Yep.
what I call Navy SEAL operators, the opposites of Billies, right? Pay attention to the expense line, everything. I mean, the level of discipline.
Students of the game.
Absolutely. Post-COVID, those people have lost some muscle memory because they haven't been to the gym. So even them, I mean, don't worry about the rest of them, the 85%. Even them, they're having to re-engage in a way never before to watch the
And
expenses
reinvent
that have
themselves.
ballooned. Correct. And so there's a lot for us to do internally before we jump into the next technology, but it's not going away. It is changing, not in years and months. So whatever it is you have to do in-house to be in a position to learn and implement it, we're already behind the scenes.
Agreed, especially as an industry. There's some words of wisdom from Aman Abraham and Samer Rama here at NADA 2026.